So what was it that made you start?
So, actually, let me go back a little bit because there's some backstory that led up to it. So, I'm going to start with me personally. I grew up basically in a 2-parent home. Mm-hmm. My mom was a nurse and my dad was a fireman. And I basically, grew up with a nice childhood. But they divorced and separated when I was probably 14, 15 or whatever. So, most of the time it was me and my mom and my brother, but I went, my dad he was very involved in my life. Mm-hmm. So basically, speed up, I graduated high school, I went to college. I went to school to be a respiratory therapist. Okay. Did that. I did patient care for about 3 years. During that time, I was recruited by the marketing director for a hospital to do marketing. She said I had a great personality, which was very true. So anyway, true statement. And so she thought I would be great at marketing. So I worked in the hospital for a little while. I was kind of apprehensive about it because I had this thing about being nervous and selling stuff and speaking to people and stuff, and thank God I did that because it helps me in my business now. So anyway, I decided to do that. I during that time I got engaged, ended up getting married. So I had a new career, which was transitioned from doing patient care, what I went to school for, to totally different, doing marketing and sales. So I got married. I had kids. I didn't have kids until late. So let's speed up. I'm 33 by this time. I had kids when I was 33. I have twins, a boy and a girl. They're 11 years old, Kendall and Jackson.
Well, you don't at all look almost 44.
Thank you. That's because we have these fabulous services. Okay. We have anti-aging services. So if you're 44 and you want to look 33 like me, then give us a call.
Absolutely.
So she has, so I speed up to, I got married, I had my babies, and so I had a really rough pregnancy. I had a hard time getting pregnant. I ended up on bed rest and having emergency surgery and things like that. So from that point, it started a lot of internal issues that I didn't know that was there. A lot of depression and anxiety and postpartum depression after I had the babies that I didn't know. Actually, it was my ex-husband who was telling me that, you have some issue, you need to go to the doctor. And I'm like, I'm fine and things like that. So I ended up going to the doctor, and this is where my story gets a little twisted up, because here I am, this career woman, and I'm living an American dream. I have a husband, I have 2 babies. I mean, twins, a boy and a girl. Right. I mean, perfect life.
You never have to have another child again.
Ever. One pregnancy and I was done. So, those are things that people dream of. And so you would think that, this girl's got it together, but inside I didn't. So I ended up going to the doctor, my general practitioner, and talking to him about my issues. And so he, had been my doctor for a very long time, and he said, well, I want to give you some medicine, something to help you. And I said, I don't want to be on meds. I don't want to do that. It's going to make me feel, funky and this and that. I don't know what to do. And he said, well, I'm going to tell you like I tell my wife. Have a couple glasses of wine in the evening. When you get kind of funky and you feeling like you can't handle the day, and by this time I had went back to work. Yeah. So here I am working this high pressure stress job, a director of a hospital for marketing, which I was in charge of making sure everybody had
at random
patience. Making sure everybody had patience to work. Here's the doctors and nurses. If I didn't do my job, people didn't work because we didn't have patience. So it was a lot of pressure. And then I come home, to the babies, and my ex-husband worked at a plant, and so he was working 12-hour shifts. So I was pretty much on my own. And so I said, okay, fine. So he said, on those crazy days, have a couple glasses of wine. So I started, every once in a while having it. Then it increased to every day. Yeah. Then it increased from a couple glasses to bottles. Yeah. So my ex-husband was like, you're starting to drink a lot. He noticed it. He notices everything. Still, even my ex-husband, he still notices everything. He's probably gonna hear that. So I said,
well, we thank you a little bit.
Yeah. So I said, well, the doctor told me that I can have a couple glasses of wine. He said a couple glasses, not a whole bottle, is what I had to be reminded. So I said, okay. Well, by that time, I had already lost control. Yeah. Didn't know it. So at that time, I was 38. So between the age of 38 to 40, I'm going to give you the short version of my story. Between the ages of 38 to 40, I lost everything. So I lost my career.
Due to alcoholism?
Lost my career.
Yeah.
My ex-husband divorced me. I ended up getting a DWI, felony DWI, the first time because I had my kids in the car.
Yeah.
Had never been in trouble. Like I said, I was 38 years old, so we paid all this money for this attorney and things like that, and we focused so much on fixing it. When I say we, he was still there. And so we paid all this money. The attorney got it dropped to a misdemeanor, and I was on probation, and it was fine.
Yeah.
It was 6 months probation, and after that, it was going to be off my record, and I was going to move on.
But you were still drinking.
Still drinking because the problem wasn't addressed.
Fixed.
Problem was not even addressed. Okay, so
And I can't believe the doctor
he didn't
allowed you to navigate the way that he did. You said, I don't want to take medication, and then his suggestion was, well, just drink instead.
a couple glasses, which red wine, which he meant like maybe once or twice a week in the evening, which is normal. Normal people can do it. When you have addiction that runs in your family, you have, a mom that's an alcoholic or a grandfather that was alcoholic, and it runs rampant in your family, and you're not educated on how this is going to affect you, then that you don't know. You don't
That
even
is
see it
actually
coming.
also how I ended up in AA myself.
Oh yay! So glad my sister. Okay, so see,
I get it.
okay,
Definitely
so
understand.
okay, great to know that. So you feel where I'm coming from. So speed up to the DWIs and this and that. So my ex-husband divorced me because I got the first one. We went through all of that. The second one came, and I was still on probation.
Damn.
So it was no getting out of it. So while I was still there,
You had to go down.
I was fighting my case first of all in Harris County, and so my ex-husband divorced me. My job prior to that, my job was holding my job for me to
Marketing
finish.
position.
Yes, because I was really good, and I'm not tooting my own horn.
No,
I'm
you
just
better toot it.
saying that this
She's
is
really good
Yeah,
at
I
marketing.
was.
That's
I
why
really
her
good.
business is flourishing.
Yes, so they were waiting for me to come back and hold this job. So it was a lot of people that was depending on me. And that alone was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
To get sober and to do right and to just not. And I would tell people that I drank wine, and they were like, "It's just wine." And I'm like, "Just wine caused me to lose everything. Like you can't
It's still alcohol.
you can't like say like you're fine." And there's a lot of people don't understand. My sister-in-law is like, "You're just going through something. You can drink again in a couple years. You'll be fine."
And the thing is that if you want to, you can, but you know whether or not you can.
I can do, right?
Because there's some who
You
can't
can't.
have any drink.
Exactly, and that's me. So so fast forward to being locked up, and my ex-husband divorced me, and he filed. So this is where I knew things were changing, and God has His hands on me. So I fought it, and I said, because he was threatening to take. Now, mind you, I said we had this life that we had, so there was money involved.
Yeah.
There was money that I helped bring, and money that he had, and all this that he didn't want to share.
Assets.
And kids, he wanted to get full custody and sole custody. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff where.
Do you think he did that because he had spent so much energy helping you get fixed, and then you fucked
He
up
did that
again?
because he was hurt.
Yeah.
Because I ruined our life. I ruined what
But
we
you were
had.
sick,
He didn't understand that, which is sad because he comes from a family with addiction where his mom was an addict,
And that's probably part of it.
it was
It's like
anger.
he's taken out what he really wanted to do on her.
Yes.
And trying to protect them kids from whatever
Yes.
experience he had, but it wouldn't be the same.
It wasn't the same. So this part of my life literally only lasted about 2 years.
That's all it takes.
So
though,
it's
for
all
you
it
to
takes.
be like a-
When I lost everything, it was 2 years. So okay, fast forward. So I ended up getting a 10-month sentence. I had
You
spent
did.
3 months in county, so I ended up going to state jail for 10 months. Well, while I was in state jail, I'm fighting. I'm like, I cannot let this man have this divorce. I can't let him have everything I work for.
Everything.
My kids, and it was really
How
hard.
old were the kids at that time?
They were about 5. Yeah, it was really, really hard because it was times where I tell people, like, I feel like a horrible mother when I talk about it now, but it hurts so bad to be away from my kids that there was times I had to, like, block them out of my head. Like, I didn't have them. Because he wouldn't let them come and see me. I mean, it was hard. And it was hard to go from, being in the house with them
Yeah, to
be
you're in jail.
snatched away. They don't know what's going on. Where's my mom? The dad is.
And
He's
Morley knows what he's saying though.
He's a good dad, but he wasn't there. I mean, he was working. And so it was really hard. So I would just have to block it out. And I was like, I just have to get through this.
Yeah.
Okay. So during that time, I lost some family. I lost an aunt that was really close to me because she sided with him, and you know, she had like I'm not gonna go into business with that, but she had some inside to get in to come and see me. You know, when I was in jail, and it was through an attorney visit. It wasn't through whatever. So I'm thinking she's coming as a family, and here she is with these papers, and he's got her head to get me to sign for less, and you know, and it's like I'm already dealing with enough. I'm dealing with being away from my kids. I'm dealing with how did I get here? Lost my career.
Like you're beating yourself up so much in that time. And then to have other people also beating you down.
Right, exactly. So that also caused me. Okay, so when I was locked up, I decided to join their recovery program they have, and a lot of things like that. So I went through all of that, and I felt like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get my life back. You know, I don't care. I mean, I went in. I think I'm probably the only person that I know ever that went into jail. Well, besides women, that I went into jail, and I came out, you know, fitter and better physically than I was, because I just focused on working out and just, you know, staying out of trouble and just doing my thing.
I mean, there's a lot that can happen because you want to try to not fit, but you want to be safe.
Yeah, exactly. So I stayed out of trouble. So anyway, I got out. And when I got out, I had to move in with my brother and my sister-in-law. So here I am going from living my life. But when I got out, my ex-husband had a restraining order on me. And the restraining order was... I couldn't see the kids because he said I was a danger to them because I drove drunk with them, right?
Well, shit.
And then he said, I know. He said he was scared that I was going to take them and leave the country and stuff. And I mean, like, dude, whatever.
That doesn't even match.
I don't even have a job or a car. I lost everything. You sent my car back, remember?
How I'm gonna get to another country?
Yes, how am I get there?
We don't have a passport.
Yes.
Start
you sold everything and you took everything.
Just out of spite.
Yeah, out of spite.
Because again, his own experience with his mother.
Exactly.
He was projecting all of that onto you. That's just not fair.
I would say that all the time. That and he was hurt.
Yeah, and I get it.
So, yeah, that's exactly what happened. So, okay, so anyway, I get out, so I go through all this stuff, and I'm struggling, right? So, I drink again, right? Because there's nothing else to do. I gotta escape.
Well, that's your blanket, too.
It's my blanket. So, here I am. So, the thing was, the restraining order was either you go and sign these papers right now at my attorney's office, or you're not seeing the kids.
So, file for divorce. So, complete this divorce right now, or you never get to see your kids.
Exactly. Again. So my brother and my sister-in-law wasn't having it. They were like, he is not going to do that to you. So, and I had no money. They were like, we got your attorney. Don't worry about it.
It's a blessing.
So I got an attorney. She said, don't you sign a thing.
Yeah.
And let me go to this this courthouse tomorrow and get this restraining order dropped because it's BS and it's not going to happen.
I mean.
So you call him and you tell him to bring them kids to you right now. So it happened anyway. So fast forwarding. I decided at that point, like, I don't know what to do. I went from having a career to having nothing and to basically waiting on this divorce and praying that I get some money out of it to start my life over. So during that time, it's a struggle. I'm still having a hard time with asking, can I see my kids, and fighting with him. And I forgot to tell you the other part, that when I was in Harris County fighting my case, before I even finished, he moved another woman into our house.
So wait.
I wasn't even sentenced.
Pause. And had the nerve to be mad at you the whole time. But so it's like, were you already? Was this going on? And not even if it was she. Were you already thinking of I'm trying to replace you now?
Exactly. So because remind you, I said I was the caregiver.
Yeah.
I did everything for the kids. He didn't know he was a good provider.
So he brought a nanny.
If I could be real, my sister-in-law calls her the nanny, the housekeeper, the babysitter, the chauffeur, and they're still together actually. So this.
Well, that's of course. She's taking care of. I would do that too.
Okay, they've been together almost 5 years and she's still not married or anyway.
Okay.
So, but the one thing that came out of this is that he did not have a relationship with his mom. He was raised by his grandmother. Because I had left, he needed his mom. So all of a sudden, there's their relationship. Now, she treats me like her daughter. So I love the fact that because I had tried for years to get that relationship back because I didn't understand how you could just disown your mom. But, I mean, I see now what he went through and the hurt, but he moved both of them in.
Did he ever go to counseling?
He's not. He still needs to go to counseling,
but
whatever. We have a better relationship now, but he still needs counseling. So, but he wanted the kids to go to counseling. I'm like, are you going? Yeah, my kids did. So.
Like, hello, the reason why you think the kids need counseling is why you need to go to counseling.
Exactly. So he moves her in. So I forgot to tell you about that part. So there was a lot of hurt that I was dealing with. So here I am, get out, and I have to go to the house that we purchased together for 10 years and lived in for 10 years, and pick up my kids and see you and her in my home. Because remember, I was snatched out of life. Okay, so all I remember when I was snatched out of life was that was my home, because that's the home that I was last in, and that was my life.
Hard to let go.
So it was hard to see her there, and it was a lot. It was a lot that I dealt with. So that in turn, that losing my career, just trying to figure out what the hell am I going to do from this point, I went back to drinking. Because that was my blanket. That was my comfort. I could escape, you know? And so...
just take the edge off of life a little
bit. Exactly. But it just made it worse. I wasn't doing anything. So it got to the point where I was sneaking and drinking from my brother and my sister-in-law. And they're like, well, first of all, where are you getting the money from?
Okay.
You know, and I had friends. And you know that I would lie to about things, and you know, and whatever. So
I need to go up here to do it. We'll do off and be right back.
Yes, exactly. So, well, I didn't have a car, so it was a lot of manipulation. It was a lot of manipulations, which is so sad. And when I sit back and look on it, I thank God that I got through that, right? Yeah. So it was a lot of manipulation. So anyway, so finally, my brother and my sister-in-law, they're like, you know, my brother finds all this alcohol, these bottles, wine bottles, and has it in the trash bag. Yes, and so I come in, they basically have an intervention, and you got to do something, we love you. And my brother and my sister-in-law, I'm not even kidding, they are my number one fans. Yeah. At the time, I was like, I am grown, and I'm going to do what I want, and this is y'all's house, and my sister-in-law was pregnant, and it was just a lot of stress on her. It was too much, right?
Well,
so
they were worried, too.
Yeah, they were really worried. So they made me go to, they told me I had to find somewhere to go. So they had looked up all these places. They wanted me to go back to inpatient therapy. I mean, inpatient treatment. I'd already done that. Yeah. I'd already done that. The ex-husband made me go. All these people, you know, the one time the ex-husband made me go, then the court made me go. So there was all this stuff, the reasons that I did it, not because I wanted to. It was for other people. So I felt like them telling me, I'm only going to do it because you want me to do it, not because I want to.
Myself. That's where it has to come from.
That's where it has to come from. Solid. So I agreed to go to live in a recovery house where you're a little more independent, and my kids could come. My thing was, I'll go somewhere as long as my kids can come and stay. The times that I was allowed to have them. I don't want to be in a jail type setting. Exactly. Yeah. So I did that. So my brother was like, "You can go. I'll pay for it. You go. I just want you to get better." So anyway, so I go and I do all this, and I kind of rock it out for about 3 months, and I go to AA, I get a sponsor and all that, and I'm still not dealing with these inner issues, right? I'm doing it still only to impress the other people and make them happy and appease them. And my attorney, that while I'm going through this divorce, she's like, you need to do this stuff. This is good for the show. So I'm like, okay. So finally, I get to the point where we're there, and I actually relapsed in the sober living house, right?
You were
and
like,
I was
snuck in the alcohol.
I was like the lead. I know, but it's so sad. I was like the lead of the house, and
well, I'm not laughing at you. It's just like it resonates.
It's funny. It's funny because of how addiction works. It's like it's a mind thing, and you don't even know, and you manipulate, and you don't see it, but people can see right through it, right? So, anyways, I get kicked out. So before I got kicked out, it was coming, but before I got kicked out, I said, I don't want to live this life anymore. I'm done. I'm tired. So by this time, I had gotten my divorce money. Right, so I had gotten my divorce money. It was a good amount of money. So most smart people would probably went about in the house and invested in the business. That's not what I did. So I was like, I'm gonna showboat. I'm gonna show him what I did with his money. So he has her over there. I'm gonna be like, well, I got his money. Let me show you. So I went and bought this car, and and my brother's like, why are you spending all your money on this car? You don't even have anywhere to live. And I mean, just craziness, right? So I just
running from you.
Running from me, trying to hurt other people that don't even care about that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I did that. So, but it dawned on me: if I don't get sober right now, this money, I'm gonna blow through it. And I'm probably gonna end up back in jail or dead.
And then the kids.
In the car driving again, and I'm gonna either kill them, myself, or somebody, or all of us. So I ended up saying, I don't want this life. So there was a roommate that I had that was there. I let her, when I got my new vehicle, I would always take her to work and pick her up and stuff. And I went to her and I said, I relapsed. She said, I know. I know. She said, I've been praying and I've been, trying to get there. And I said, I need to go to treatment. I said, but you can't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. I don't want anybody to know. I'm just going to go and I'm just going to do this thing. I don't want family to come. I don't want to see my kids. I don't want to do anything. I have to do this. And the reason I'm crying is because it's so emotional, because that was the point in my life where I decided to change, and it was about me. And for me to say, I don't want any visitors, I don't even want you to tell anybody. And my deal with her was, you can use my car. And I made her swear that she wouldn't tell anybody where I was, right? But that was the addict in me talking, because it's like, how can I hide from my family for 30 days and just come up missing and like they're not going to check on me?
And then the why you needed to be a secret.
I just didn't want to have to explain to people. I was tired of,
but they knew
you need to do. I was tired of the looks, and I was tired of being the topic of conversation and the topic of gossip with the family. I was sick of it, right? So I was like, in order for me to do this for myself, I just gotta escape everything. Yeah. So I had a sponsor, which was just so on me. So I called her and I was like, I need to go somewhere. And mind you, I didn't have health insurance and stuff like that. So I was limited. So she found this place for me. It's called New Hope Women's Center in Pasadena. Love it, love it, love it. And I went. And I know, so it was really hard, because I went out with a bang though. So it showed up, and I had to detox and stuff. So I went out with a bang, but it was really, really hard, because when I got there, it was like I wanted to be there, but I didn't want to be there.
Well, because the change and the growth.
The change and the growth and the leaving my kids again, but I said, okay, I'm doing it. So finally, now the sickness in me and the mental issues didn't dawn on me that your family's gonna be worried about you. Mm-hmm. You threatened this girl's life. I mean, she was younger than me, so I was like,
the other girl?
The younger girl that was the roommate. I was like, you can use my car, you can do this.
But I'll kill you if you tell them.
If they come, you better not tell them.
So you a gangster?
I was a gangster. It didn't work well, because she ended up telling me. So anyway,
she was probably worried that they were going to say she came.
She came, and so I didn't know all this was going on the outside, because I was just trying to figure out my life. So she came up there doing visiting hours, and she said, your sister-in-law came, and she's looking for you, and they're looking for you, and they're worried, and this and that, and still me. I'm like, you better not tell them where I'm at. Don't tell them. Let me just do this. So I was like, I'll just detox and then I'll leave. And do it on my own. That's what I thought. And she was like, you need to stay. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna just do this. Just buy me some time. Just give me 10 days. To detox. I said, just give me 10 days and I'll leave. She's like, I'll try, but she's very aggressive. So basically, my sister-in-law was like, you have her car. Right. I didn't know this was going on. Her and my brother went and took my car from her.
They probably were worried that something happened.
They took my car, and threatened this girl and said that if you don't tell us where she is, we're going to report you in this whole house and get you kicked out and get this whole thing shut down. And it was like this whole thing, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I didn't know this at the time. Yeah. But I also didn't know that they were calling jails, they were calling hospitals, they were calling the police. That my sister-in-law was driving around at night, going to hotels to see if she saw my car. They thought I was dead. They didn't know what happened. So they made her tell, right? Mm-hmm. So the girl was like, she came back, she was like, your sister-in-law's very aggressive. I said, I know she loves me, but she's very big. I said, she's the mean one. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so then I'm going back and forth. So finally they call up there. Yeah. She tells them where I am, and my sister-in-law's calling, and I said, I'm leaving. Bring me my car. And she's like, I'm not bringing you your car, this and that, you need to stay there. I said, well, fine, I'll get away. I'm leaving. I'm not going to stay here, And she's like, you need to stay, and this and that. So
is your sister-in-law?
My sister-in-law.
Why did you want to leave? Because they knew that you had gone to
I didn't want to leave because they knew. It was the mental part, like, oh, I'm fine, I can do this myself. It was that struggle of, do I really want to do this or do I not? I was still on the fence of, A, do I really want to be sober? A, do I really want to stop drinking? Mm-hmm. B, am I really doing this for myself? Or am I doing this to just appease other people? Like, unconsciously. Because it was my choice, you know? And so it was a lot of struggle. Plus, I was still trying to, detox, right? So it's a lot of mental things going on. My body's trying to regulate. So it was a lot of stuff. And in that,
you still have anxiety and depression on top of all of that.
Yes, in that house, it's like, oh my God, it was hard at first, right? I will tell you, to this day, some of those girls are my best friends. One of the girls that was there with me, and this was almost 5 years ago, works for me now. Really? Yeah. So and one of them, she's getting married in June. I'm in her wedding. I mean, it was amazing. So, but it took some time to get there. Yeah. So anyway, so I remember sitting in one meeting, and my sister-in-law came, It was a morning meditation where it was open to the public, but a lot of people didn't come because it was really early and it was during the work week. So, but I see through the window, she's walking up, and I'm like, oh my God, here she comes. And I had probably been there like 3 days, and I was still on the fence of whether I was going to leave or not.
And they found you fast.
And I had already called my best friend to come pick me up. I was like, come and pick me up. And my best friend is like, you need to stay, but she's more of like, I got your back.
Yeah.
If you want to leave, I'm coming, you know. So my sister-in-law comes in, and she plops down, and she's staring at me the whole time. And we're on the couch, we finished the meeting, and she's like giving me the evil eye. And I get up home, I'm like, what are you doing here? And she's like, you're not leaving. You're not leaving. Who do I need to talk to? I said, you can talk to whoever. I'm here by free will. And so anyway, she convinces me to stay. Best decision I ever made in my life. Yeah. So I stayed. I got involved. I was like, okay, don't come see me. Don't bring the kids. Give me 30 days. Give me 30 days. I told my best friend because I didn't have enough stuff. Yeah. You know, clothes and stuff, because I wasn't planning on doing this. So I had sent my best friend some money, and I was like, go to Target, buy me, you know, whatever I need, night clothes, under, you know, everything. And I stayed. I stayed. I ended up staying for 3 months.
Wow.
I ended up staying for 3 months. From there, this is how powerful this was. When I made that decision to change, it was like, after 3 months, I was like, I was done there, but it was like, I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to stop.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting accepted. I applied. I didn't even know that Houston had all these different, you know, programs and stuff. And so I ended up getting into this program called Bridge of Hope, right? Okay. Best decision ever. So they put you, it's for women coming out of incarceration with addiction and stuff. So they put you in this apartment. It's a small little, you know, efficiency apartment. But my concern was, can my kids come, right? So, let me backtrack. After 30 days at the New Hope, my kids would come. Okay. So they didn't really understand what was going on, but they would come, and it would come. Because they were still, what, like 6? They were 6. They were young. They would come when other kids were there and their parents and stuff. And I told them I was just there to get my life together until I could find somewhere to live and stuff. I didn't really go into details. To this day, I have told my kids. I have sat them down and explained to them, and because I want them to know what I went through, and I want them to see that their mom, you know, went through this, and she was resilient, and she stayed the course, and look at her now. Yeah. If she can do it, I can do it. Yeah. That's what I want to give them. So I told them everything. So anyway, so I ended up going to this place, and I stayed. It was a 12-month program. I ended up staying there for 10 months. Because I graduated early. Yeah. So it basically, you go, I graduated early because remember I told you the personality and stuff. No, it was because I was determined. Yeah. I was determined. Now, I did blow a lot of the money that I got from the divorce, but I got smart. I paid off some student loans. Yeah. I started doing some stuff to rebuild my life. Mm-hmm. So during that time, I got a job, and I was working back in sales, healthcare sales, because I never thought I would get a job because, again, I have a felony, right? So I'm like, nobody's going to hire me, whatever. You know, I'll never make 6 figures again, and I'm just like, whatever. You know, I'm just going to stay the course. So by this time, I was 100% committed to being sober, and I was going to meetings, I was sponsoring women, and I was doing what I was supposed to do. I didn't know it was going to work, but I just did what people told me, right? And I felt God in my life, like changing me and just walking in front of me, and I'm just following this path, and I'm just like, thank you, Jesus. So I get back in sales. While I'm in sales, I'm like, I'm so sick of this. So in the meantime, I had doctor friends, and you know, from over the years that I had relationships with from healthcare marketing. So I was going to call on this one doctor for the new company I worked with, and I was talking to her office manager and I was like, I'm so sick of healthcare. I want to do something in beauty. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to do hair, and I don't want to do makeup. I don't know what I want to do, but I want to do something in beauty. So I go and I said, okay, let me just think about it. They're like, oh, you know, give me some ideas. I'm like, no. So I go home, and I had on Facebook, I saw this girl promoting for mobile teeth whitening. And I was like, look at my teeth whitening, you know, and stuff. So and she had a special. So I was like, I signed up for it. So she came. She was there literally 30 minutes, okay? She whitened my teeth. I paid her $80. My teeth were white and this and that. And I'm like, she just made $80 in 30 minutes. I'm onto something. Let me investigate this, right? So I started talking to her about how I said, how do you get, you know, certified to do this? You have to be a dental hygienist or whatever. And she's like, no, you can get a certification. And she was a dental hygienist, but she said, you know, you can do it. So anyway, have to. Yeah. So I took the training. A very low cost to start and this and that. So I started, but I was still working my other job because by this time I'm setting myself up to fight my ex-husband for my kids in court. So my everything that drove me from that point was to set myself up to get joint custody or to do. My attorney had given me a to-do list, and she said, "This is what you need to do over the next year." Because when I first got out, I didn't have anywhere for them to live.
Yeah.
You know, so it didn't make sense. It wouldn't have been fair to them.
Right. I mean, you gotta be realistic too.
Yeah, I was realistic. So I'm setting myself up. So during that time, I'm like, okay, well, let me do it. So I'm still working hard, and so I didn't really promote the teeth whitening. I kind of did family. I kind of did a few friends and stuff like that. And then so I go back to this doctor, and her office manager is there. And let me tell you how God works. Her office manager goes, "You know what? When you need to promote that more." She said, "When you're out, I have this laser paddle machine that the vendor just bought. Why don't you take that when you're doing mobile clients and offer this service to them?" And I'm like, "Well, what is it?" And so she kind of tells me, "Oh, it helps you lose inches, and you know the doctor uses it here and stuff." And I'm like, thinking, I'm gonna take this thing home and use it myself, right? And so I take it home, and a week later, she's like, "Have you gotten anybody? Did you do anything?" I said, "No." Her name is Kim. Kim Travis. I'm gonna shout out to her because Travis Consulting, because I'm gonna tell you how she plays such an integral part into me getting where I am. So she gives me the machine, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. So I was like, no, I haven't promoted anything. You know, I did a few family members, my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law is my #1 fan now. Like, we went through all that. She's like my bestie now, but she is really. And so I actually call her more than I call my brother. Maybe my brother used to be really close. Now he finds out everything about me through her. And he's like, "What happened?" I said, "I don't know." So anyway, so we go. I posted on Facebook. No, she tells me, "Have you started promoting yet?" I said, "No." She said, "Well, I have a friend that owns a gym. He'll let you come in and promote it to some of your clients." So here I am thinking, okay, I'm still working full time. You know the struggle.
Yeah.
I'm working full time. When am I supposed to figure out to do this? When am I? And I'm trying to do the teeth whitening in between because that's pain, not a lot, but a little bit.
Yeah.
So I go and I do it, and so they have this beautiful young lady. She's like 18. She's so fit. She has like 17% body fat.
Yeah.
Who wants to do it and all this? I was still new. I mean, she was young. She was 18. She was so young that even 18 is fine, but I still made her mom sign the consent form because I didn't know what I was doing.